Hello friends and family, my name is Skylent, and today we're talking about the new Dungeon Fighter. Apparently, codenamed Project BBQ, we got a 3D online Dungeon Fighter game. Now, Dungeon Fighter already was online, and quite often mislabeled as an MMO, and this is going to be the same case. Immediately, I guess on first viewing of the trailer, it might seem like it's an open world MMO. I can tell you, I've watched the trailer a few times. I haven't seen anything that would really reveal this as a proper MMO. That's just that. I don't even think a game needs to be full open world technically. Like Guild Wars 2 is hyper instanced, but there's definitely a difference between MMOs and then dungeon crawlers. So this title is definitely going to be a successor, just 3D, to Dungeon Fighter Online. So if you like that kind of gameplay, sweet, you're getting a totally new upgraded version, and it looks really good. Unreal Engine 4 is blossoming here, and I think the gameplay is pretty snappy, pretty fast-paced, pretty action-packed. I really want to talk about that agility. Absolutely. It's even faster than BDO, and definitely faster than its predecessors, which would be something like Soulworker, the most recent, Vindictus, and Dragon Nest, which was my favorite. And there's a lot of other ones that you probably haven't heard of, like Onigiri, things like that. There's a lot of, oh my god, mobile action RPGs, but no, this looks genuinely engrossing in a lot of different ways, but mainly that agility, and of course the graphical styling. And I also kind of like how the enemies are designed, seemingly. I can't really talk about gameplay, right? But I'm just saying, it seems like this is going to be a hyperactive online spectacle fighter that might just do boss encounters well. Now, a couple things that I'm worried about, and I'm going to discuss that, is that the speed of the game, this is awesome, but just based on trends, I've played a few games with very fast-paced, hyperactive gameplay. And if you ever played a Warriors game, you might know where I'm coming from. But often, some games will allow the player to be overly proactive because the designers don't know how to actually design the game and make it properly reactive. So a good game, in my opinion, would be like Dark Souls. Well, in everyone's opinion, it's a good game. Monster Hunter as well. Good games that are engaging, back and forth, proactive and reactive. And then you have games like BDO, where it gets a little bit more gray, doesn't it? Where the game, it's a little bit more kind of just face roll. It's more about being flashy and more about being a spectacle itself. So that's kind of the one worry, the one complaint that I've had so far about the trailer is that they haven't quite revealed to me yet how these boss encounters are going to work. That was also something that I was worried about with the game Lost Ark. But then as we got more gameplay and more people played it, that fear has been alleviated. Many action RPGs really fall into this. However, I will say that from what I've seen, the trailer footage, unlike BDO's footage, unlike many other action RPG footages, this trailer footage does show a lot of 1v1s. It does, well, I mean, it does show a focus on big ass monster fights. It does show a focus on boss fights. So the game is going to be published by Nexon. That's something to probably be worried about. Developers, cool. I think we're all cool with the developers. We're cool with the direction of the game, the art direction, the graphics, the styling, and we might have some worries about how the game might play in the end, but that Nexon publishing is kind of scary. But then again, actually Nexon just published a dungeon diving, kind of MMO lightish action RPG, which is MapleStory 2, and I actually had fun with it, and it didn't seem too heinous with its monetization. We'll have to see in the future, but it's entirely possible that Nexon's kind of flipping things around. I mean, they've kind of had some failures with Dirty Bomb and Lawbreakers big time, and many others MMOs that people just don't care about anymore. And actually, Dragon Nest, which I mentioned earlier, used to also be published by Nexon, and they just got out of that, though nobody plays that game anymore. Regardless, Nexon, look, I hate them too. The truth is MapleStory 2, I think most people are okay with it, but we have to be a little bit cautiously, optimistic here, because this looked pretty good. I'm gonna replay the trailer over and over as much as I need to really get that across, that this looks gorgeous. Definitely. The Unreal Engine 4, it looks amazing, but it's not just Unreal Engine 4. I think the art style is so clean, so colorful, and I think that was my big complaint about Dungeon Fighter Online, is that it just didn't age well, such as the original MapleStory in most of those kind of games. It just doesn't age well, and I think this will actually carry itself very, very far. In fact, a lot of people played Dragon Nest or Vindictus for a really freaking long time. I think this super clean art style is going to be great, and it's absolutely going to trump the other games that were kind of like this. Like I mentioned earlier, Onigiri and Soulworker, especially the newest one, and a few other mobile action RPGs, no, I think that this Dungeon Diver is going to be the one to play. Now, of course, I do appreciate like Blade and Soul. Blade and Soul is pretty cool too, and that's probably the most comparable game that I've played. And I guess lastly, I can kind of mention one worry I have about the game is I already mentioned that the game is fast, and that's cool. I like that. It's going to be different, right? A lot of these games are really slow paced, such as Dragon Nest, Dark Souls, things like that. Really slow paced. Of course, BDO is fun. It's fast, yeah, in a way, but then it's also brain dead. This game seems like it wants to be fast, but it also wants to fight bosses. That reminds me of Blade and Soul. That reminds me of a couple of wuxia style games, actually, such as Revelation Online. And those games had so much potential, and I like those a lot. So if they follow that design principle, that's going to be good. But I also know that the games can play really, really fast, and sometimes like the bosses can be cheesy. I don't know if you've ever played the end game of Terra, but Terra can get really cheesy. A lot of these MMOs that try to be fast sometimes, the bosses are so fast, and with latency and online, especially with optimization issues, which kind of happened in Blade and Soul and a lot happened in Terra, that experience isn't great. So we have to keep in mind that this is an online Dungeon Diver. That is a big reason why I have issues with Warframe, with Destiny, but maybe mainly Warframe. You know, a game that moves so fast like that, and then you have everything desyncing and rubber banding, it just makes it a really bad experience. So this game, will it be a good MMO? No, it's not going to be an MMO at all, but it's going to be a good dungeon diving game. Well, Dungeon Fighter Online. Yeah, it's probably going to be good. But with Nexon publishing it, I'm kind of worried that they're not going to do a great job with the online. I'm worried they're not going to secure good servers. I'm worried that they're not going to have fun events. I'm worried that it's going to be, you know, pay to win or gotcha-ified. I'm worried about the online interaction itself as a whole, from, you know, monetization to the actual gameplay. I don't want another Warframe. I want something that's more challenge-focused, challenge-oriented, and reward-focused, not loot box, not just pure grind. I want it to be big, bad bosses. I want it to be challenge. I want it to be something that actually requires cooperation as well, which, wow, that would just be great. That's pretty much all I can really say about this so far. Just my thoughts and feelings and my fears as well for the game, which is, you know, pretty simple. I'm pretty sure everyone's feeling the same way, especially if you've played a lot of these games in the past, probably, especially with the whole latency thing. A lot of people don't give that enough credit, but the servers for Soul Worker were kind of garbage. So yeah, if we can just have like a good running game, especially one that moves this fast, that would definitely trump out what you normally see in MMOs, because, you know, MMO servers run a little bit differently and kind of awkwardly, so their dungeons aren't as good as they could be. A game that's totally designed around dungeons, you know, with that gameplay loop, I think it could be really good as long as it's pristine and not Nexon the fuck up. So let's see how it turns out, guys. Project BBQ, Dungeon Fighter Online with Unreal Engine 4. It's gonna come out next year, guys. I'm gonna be playing it. I'm gonna be streaming it. Definitely don't worry. It looks freaking great so far, but of course, a lot of games have looked great before. Anyways, hopefully it's not a brain dead Warriors-like, just, you know, mindless grind. Hopefully there's some actual meat on this beautiful skeleton of a game. Keep the hype alive. I'll see you again next time.